That's a tough one.
I don't know. Kadita would also might be okay.
Against the Farsa, yeah. But it's expanding
No,
river.
like you have to trust your Joe, right? Get a kick. You
See,
swim.
in
you
normal
swim.
situations, I would agree
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
I was gonna
But
say.
after yesterday, I don't know how strong that trust is, man.
I feel like the whole world that's watching pretty much kind of chuckled at that one,
Yeah.
especially the fact that 33% win rate right now.
Yeah.
There it is, Lunox.
Agent M, Agent N. Yes. We keep talking about trust during the shoot. Yes. Okay.
I mean, I wasn't there, but I'll agree.
You were there in spirit,
All right.
not the team, but like you were astro projectualizing yourself
Yes.
there.
Okay. So what about it?
Wait, what do you think about the draft?
I think I like DianFengYaoGuai, but the fact that they didn't ban the Lunox and they went for the Esmeralda means that the Esmeralda can get cooked if Chiku gets 5 kills to start again. So if DianFengYaoGuai don't get 5 kills to start, they have a chance.
Hey, you know what? I trust Valence. I feel like he can use his abilities in a way
I trust he can use his ability.
that will make you proud. We're jumping into game number 2. It's 1-0 in
5
favor
seconds till
of
the enemy reaches
CG.
the
Can
battlefield.
DianFengYaoGuai win
Smash
this
them.
one to extend the series?
DianFengYaoGuai are on the brink of elimination here. Match point. Welcome to the land of Dawn.
Welcome to Mobile
Super Ken back
Legends.
on a Yisun Shin. Oh! Okay. Vengeance Esmeralda. That's why they were so brave, despite having the Lunox open on the other side.
Very rare, by the way.
Very, very rare. And you will be locked down, by the way.
I know why.
Why?
Wait, you
'Cause he
don't know
o-
why, or you
no,
do know why?
I know why.
Why?
He doesn't go for the Purify because he trusts that Valence.
Oh
Will help.
my.
Like,
Yeah.
that's me thinking meta.
Yeah.
Like he telling his coach, do I need Purify? And then the coach like, do you think you need Purify?
From what happened yesterday, makes sense, right? But you are going to be way more vulnerable to getting kicked. So that's a give and take. I guess that's the give and take that DianFengYaoGuai are comfortable with. Let's take a look at the emblems though. This time it's Master Assassin. See, for Long, he thinks he's going to be able to win out the lane against the Harren, which is a very, very good call. Tenacity on the Esmeralda. Nothing too crazy on the other side though, yeah? Yeah, just a classic Tenacity Vitality. A bit of thrill there for Valence so that he has more base damage to play with.
Yeah, quick arcane boots coming in from both E1 as well as Chiku. So, but this time I don't think Chiku should be getting that many kills because it's quite tanky and Zed does have that revitalize.
Yeah.
So if somehow Chiku gets a lot of kills, that's really their fault.
I mean, even in the last game, I was just surprised that he got that triple so early on, and that's just kind of what paved the way, you know, to that scaling and that MVP performance that he had. But in this case, I think for CG Esports, it's more so it's going to be a little bit slower paced, unless depending how that first turtle goes too, because on both sides you have great level 4 power spikes in terms of like the ultimates that are available to them.
Okay, level 4 already for Yi1. Esmeralda as well there. There should be a free turtle. There should be no chance unless Gary steals it away. Let's see.
I don't know if Gary can get there in time. He's already used. Oh, he does! Goes in with Retribution out from Super Ken as Chiku picks up a kill. They're going to be going for more a kick, not in the direction, but it doesn't matter. Valens lives despite under the turret. They pick up 2 plus a turtle. Gary wants to take more. He's going to go ahead and grab himself a purple buff from DFYG.
Don't worry, LaFell. I saw that reaction.
no,
It worked out. It worked out.
No, I was sneezing, so I looked away.
Right, right.
He survived too.
It worked out. It worked out. Hey, see. Oh. Maybe we should chill.
Talk about working out. We worked out in the morning.
Oh.
Oh, no. Okay, Gary's
Man.
fine.
Gary's already again doing this to Super Ken, man. The gap is going to be crazy here as Gary has stolen away the purple buff, has stolen away a green camp. Super Ken can't do anything right now but go for Lethal Wanderer. He's going to be at least 2 levels down by the time Gary, or sorry, 1 level down by the time Gary clears up orange.
Yeah, so honestly at this point, CG, that was a good way to steal away that turtle. But right now I kind of want to see a bit more systematic coming in from them because I feel like their mid trio is pretty good at starting bolts.
They want to start this one up here in that gold lane. Amzik trying to get away. A jump defensively by Zed. And Valence doesn't have the flicker, so he can't really continue on there. So nothing happens.
Thank goodness.
No, good cancel there from Long. Let's take a look at the items here. Super Ken is able to steal away a green camp, so that levels things a bit more. But yeah, Gary is so consistently farming out. 200 gold lead for the jungle. it's still manageable, really, for DianFengYaoGuai. It's not the crazy lead that we saw with 3 kills on Chiku. But still, it's not what you would expect with this composition. You would expect a free, neutral objective contest earlier.
Yeah, no, CG, I kind of feel like they're on a ticking time bomb because they're not using a draft that, personally, in my opinion, skills as well as DianFengYaoGuai. Especially, like, the only reason why they can go to the late game is probably just Chiku. But Chiku really has to be the one to take care of 2. Lung and Super Ken, or E1 and Lung, like, as long as they're able to get 2, I feel like CG will have enough damage for the rest.
Fighting for the turtle here. Balance looking for a setup. Whoa, in the gold lane too. A little 1v1, but they already started up around the turtle. E1 gonna have to back off. That feathered airstrike won't hit anybody. No use there. A jump from Zed fell on the chase. Chiku will survive. They pull off the turtle, but after getting a kill, CG should have the green light for this one.
I think the observers understood the site.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that's one of the few times that I would be like, yo, W observer for me to play up, because thank goodness we didn't get a full view of Yi1 just completely ulting nothing.
Yeah. Like, honestly, a lot, right? That entire thing happened. I can't believe we looked away, we came back, and basically no one died.
And we were happy that we looked away.
Yeah, I was quite glad.
Too. I mean, part of that is just, you know, you were talking about the scaling earlier on here, LaFell, and I would say that if CG does end it quickly off of, you know, maybe some of the errors that we see from DFYG, you kind of get to avoid that power spike that's going to come from Lung here on the Claude, and I feel like, you know, that's what needs to happen with this lineup that DFYG has.
Yeah, not just Lung, but Super Ken as well. And I think that DianFengYaoGuai, they have a good draft to really protect their base.
Oh, this time again, feathered airstrike going to be used, and it just no hit at all. The turret's still going to stay up though, 1 HP on that mid.
Yeah, but probably not going to survive all that long. Valens does have the Way of the Dragon. I just want to see that.
Yeah.
He has it. Not saying he should use it.
He has it.
But he has it.
In some scenarios, he should use it, but he has it right now, is what LaFell's trying to tell y'all back at home, all right? But yeah, so far, even with the Vengeance, it seems like it is a big problem still. Balance, hey!
Oh, Balance, okay.
He's good, he got the turret.
Yeah. He understands with all the martial art trains that he has done. You can punch a structure until it crumbles.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of the guy that trains 1,000 different punches.
But be afraid of the Grok, because they tried to do that the last game, and the Grok did not go down.
Yeah.
He's kind of a structure, isn't he?
Yeah,
Doesn't he have
yeah.
a castle on him or something?
Yeah.
Oh, they go on Balance.
Oh, Balance. Not sure if he's going to be able to. Okay, he does. Kundo, feather airstrike, not enough damage either. Didn't even have to burn the flicker.
I feel Valens did something to DianFengYaoGuai because they just love him, or technically they hate him. Both games now, it's just they target Valens.
I mean, like, love and hate, they're usually speaking in the same breath. Usually how a lot of fight starts.
Gary gonna do the same thing here where he just shows up, gets the retribution off. They're gonna go for it, and that he does! Gary again, 3 for 3 on these turtles for CG, and I don't think they're gonna force anything further, man. DianFengYaoGuai just struggling.
I like that the CG, they're basically just playing macro, not really forcing fights, understanding that DianFengYaoGuai is the one that has to get away.
There's the kick, fell. Trying to bob and weave out and out of there. Thorn Rose doing quite a bit, but still, it's just CG taking what they want. A3 is going to be fine. He's on that Uranus, and they just continue playing that macro level.
We got to look at the items here to really see, like, what's the difference, especially when it comes to farm. Looking at here, it's really mid-diff again.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it lightly, man, but Yi1 is getting gapped so hard. It's not even funny. Like, the feather airstrikes have just been missing. Fell?
Oh, fell, even with a vengeance. There's 3 members of CG here. He does try to get away, but Chico will go ahead and secure that kill. And now a feathered airstrike. Drop down this time. Super Ken to follow through, finally getting something for DFYG, but they're just losing across the map.
Yeah, so for CG, again, they're just really punishing DianFengYaoGuai. DianFengYaoGuai have tried to deal damage, but as long as these feather airstrikes don't land the way they should, it's going to be a struggle. And the fact that E1 is so far behind means that it's going to be easier and easier for CG to dive through and to stop E1 from getting feather airstrikes. Because usually on Farsa, you get 1 feather airstrike and then you run and it's already okay because you've done enough damage.
Yep.
In this case, you go feather airstrike and you miss it, then you run, you don't do any damage, and you've just gone away.
Well, Okay, Mount Striker being used, just clearing up this top side, keeping Gary under control here. They might try to make a play once again, and AOG going to be used, and Ye3 will try to get out. He's taking quite a bit of damage, and he will still survive long enough. Now, Gary is trying to disengage here with Valens trying to help him out. They're full force here. Finally, Loon getting a kill on the board, and now Valens on the run. DFYG will pick up a kill in perfect time. Lord's up, and now Amsic joined the fight, dropping down that Zaman force, but Vel pops and he stays alive with a bit of shield, and Amsic's the one to get punished. This is a turnaround for DFYG.
Yeah, that was a whole lot of what just happened there, where CG, they overextended and it looked like they didn't have enough damage, and even I'm not entirely sure why.
Oh, this is a time for them to go ahead and secure themselves the Lord. Valens jumps in. He's gonna get caught all by himself now. They're just trying to delay the Lord. Gary, can he get here in time? He's so far away. Super Ken will secure the Lord. A jump. Chiku trying to survive, popping off the bolts here, but he had to flicker out.
So the scaling. DianFengYaoGuai have really good scaling, and technically they did scale, but also CG, Harith was bottom lane. A lot of times you'd be like, what is the Gore lane doing in the bottom lane if you're playing solo? But this ain't solo, man. They actually can communicate. They should know that Amsic was down below, yet they took the 4v5, and that's why you saw DianFengYaoGuai win it out. It was also a very awkward fight because CG, it looked like they already faded enough resources to back away with Ye3 tanking up all the damage, but then they kept on going. That should have been a good sign to back off, right? Ye3 was already low. He needs to at least sustain back up regen. Yep. He has the chance to ice Pauldron now with Oracle, but the thing is, a few of those kills went too low on the Claude. A very broken pick currently. And you can see with the 3-item power spike now, he's gonna start doing damage.
Oh, and a jump, gonna force Amsic back, and Lung jumps in with a blazing good. He does BMI on back to safety, but Amsic taken out, and now under the turret. CG on the run, trying to get away here. The stun comes through as Chiku falls, and Lord still up. DFYG quickly turning things back in their favor as they take out a tier 2. Mid lane's gonna be pushed by Gary though. He's gonna go for his own tier 2 turret push. They deal with that. Gary tries to get something that looks like that tier 2 will fall. Feathered airstrike once again. Ye3 flickers defensively. They want their base turret here. DFYG made the work, and they get that base turret.
Yeah, honestly, right now for CG, they're just a little bit all over the place. There's no real system. There's no real structure on what they're trying to do. There's no communication saying like who goes in first, last, and etc. They're playing based on instincts, right? What do you feel like? What do you want to do now? And what they want to do now is like, I want to limit test. Let's see if we can kill Vel. And then they couldn't kill Vel. They stick around a little bit too close, trying to bait them out, but then they just don't realize they're putting themselves in danger.
I just wonder what happened to the macro gameplay that we were seeing in the early game, right? CG were playing such a good game of MLBB. They had the leads. They got perfect turtle. They were building towards a bigger lead, but now they're the ones caught. AOG
going to be used. It's on Ye3, so nothing to follow up off of that. So you find back to it, and I think that's the question, is what happened to the macro level of gameplay we're seeing from CG. I think you just kind of have to settle back in and kind of recalibrate. Now that the Holy Crystal is in the hands of Amsic, you know, he's got his power spike too. Lung hit his earlier, about a minute or so ago, but Amsic's positioning too, you know, it's got to be very on point because there's so many ways to cut Amsic off on the disengage, just like we saw happen to Chiku.
Yeah, because honestly, whenever Amsic fights, it's kind of he's all alone, right? And I feel like Harv is more annoying when there's so many targets that you kind of lose track of Harv in the middle of a team fight. But if Harv is all alone, then you know how to catch that cat. And you know what happens when a cat gets caught?
What happens?
I don't know.
Oh, I was waiting for an answer there. But yes, the Harith, we did say that it was going to struggle already, right? Up against the Claude and the Farsa.
Valens goes in with a flicker, trying to get a kick. He's going to get AOG taunted with the Unbreakable, get zoning in. But meanwhile, Vel will fall. Good damage coming through from Amsic. And now Gary caught with the stun, and Lung jumps in with the blazing do it, but he's going to get kicked. And now Lung in trouble as he falls the trade 3 for 2. And CG Esports, they'll go to start this Lord. Super Ken is still up with a retribution, though.
But that was the best kick I've seen from Valens so far.
Yes, sir. Free Lord because of it as well. The instant punish from CG. I don't know which one was like the one I should highlight. The botched initiation or the fact that DianFengYaoGuai lost that fight.
DianFengYaoGuai, definitely, because I kind
Right.
of feel like that.
Because it's, what?
Yeah, we're gonna be looking at an instant
There you
replay
go.
here, right? Let's break this down. It was a botch engage coming in from a CG, but then we got to look at the response here. They were all focused on balance, and all the while, Amzik was all alone, able to deal damage. He won a lot of damage onto Gary, got caught, got stunned up, and Lung, I understand why he had to make the move, because if he cleaned that up, they would have won.
Sure. And now they're knocking on doorsteps.
See what happens here. Lord's gonna go charge in. Mount Trucker already used too. The Lord's gonna actually be cleared out very quickly. Good clear. Gary will jump in. Oh, Phantom Execution. Lung has to flicker out. And now in the mid lane, Amzik trying to stay alive, but he's taking it down. Revitalize coming in clutch here from Zed. He'll take some damage. They're gonna run him down. I'm not sure if E1's going for an angle here too. Way on the sides. They want to force this fight. Knowing without Amzik, maybe they can take it. Gary trying to help Ye3 out. Ye3 consecrate there to heal back up. Gary now trying to get away. Lung jumps in. Blazing duet. The damage is there. They'll take out Balance and Ye3 next. Double for Super Ken.
That was honestly amazing coming in from DianFengYaoGuai, catching the mistake of CG Esports and Amzik on this pick, on this Harif. Actually, you know what? The entire of CG Esports. The bane of their draft right now is honestly that Gato Kacha. Every single time someone dies, they got taunted, right?
Yeah.
CG needs to stay calm and not get taunted. Don't put themselves in a situation where they're gonna get free hit by E1, because the entire game E1 had struggles with that. But the moment Zed was able to catch either Gary or Amzik, that's GG. It's over. Like at this point, Farsa really hurts. It really does feel like a meteorite to the face.
Yeah, it's... I don't know what to talk about sometimes in these fights, because it really just feels like in that fight as well. CG had the siege.
Yep.
It looked really good. They can back away after losing one, but they just stayed, right? So, right now, they should just respect it. Amzik on the Harith, this is a very difficult game to pull off.
Yeah.
Gotta remember, the Esmeralda, the Farsa, and the Claude, all of those are counters. The fact that Long is gonna build out towards a winner crown is gonna be an even bigger problem later on for Amzik. So Amzik at this point needs to try to adapt in a way where he plays the Harith as an assassin. He comes in very late into the fight once those abilities have been
So you flicker forward, Salmon Force, kill Yi1, and then die, and then let everyone else do their job.
No, like the proper assassin, not that kind of assassin where you die together with your opponent. You have to come in late. So when all the resources are built, you come in, you clean up, kind of like a Benny Cutie playstyle, where you come in very, very late. So yeah, good thing is for CG, they've managed to actually weather the storm to a point where now DianFengYaoGuai won't have the far lane advantage, right? The base turret that was taken was the one up top, so the Lord is spawning up top. Now CG have a way to deal with waves, and in the bottom lane, it's actually building for CG that slow push.
Well, let's see what Valence gonna get spotted out here. Brought so low already. I'm not sure if Valence is gonna be able to get away from this. Feathered Airstrike dropped down already. Zaman Force as well. So some crucial ultimates on both sides being used. This fight for this Lord, though, still gonna be slow and steady. And we'll see if this time Gary's been able to steal these objectives. We'll see if he goes for this one.
Yeah, that was pretty sad. Oh, hold on. The Lord is still there. Gary has been winning this Retribution battle so far.
Is he gonna go for it? I think, yeah, okay, goes for the reset. Got the call. Just back off. We need these ultimates.
Yeah, bottom lane, someone's gonna have to deal with that. Actually, it might be building back for DianFengYaoGuai towards CG Esports because the wave was actually super low. Let's see how that unfolds. Would love to see a camera down there to actually confirm what's happening in the bottom lane, because that will be the determining factor as to who wins out.
Holy Crystal as well for Chiku, so should be able to deal with Vel. But look at him behind. Chiku got hot.
There's the jump. AOG already used by Zed. Taking quite a bit of damage. Goes in with the Unbreakable. Goes a little bit too far. Pops the Revitalize. He's in trouble. Gary gets the Lord secured. Lung is gone. Zed is gone. And CG Esports will take down 3. They're going to be going for Vel as well. Yi1 so low. He's got to disengage and get back to base. Vel has enough shields and defensiveness. He's going 1v3 now. And with Lord secured, CG will just go ahead and get ready to go with the Lord.
And now just don't throw, right? You got the Lord. Gary's still there. Yetri is still there. It's unfortunate that Chico and Valence will not be here. And yeah.
They got to deal with that wave in base too.
This should be able to, yeah, he can feather airstrike that one.
Oh, Yi1, whoa, Yi1! With the feathered airstrike, he gets caught standing there. the Lord is still up as well.
So when I say flicker forward, get E1, not exactly how I thought it was going to be, but hey, it happened.
And it was good.
They bought enough time.
And they clear out the bottom lane as well. Great cut by Vel, and great decision by Yi1 as well, not to back off. He just stood his ground so that CG couldn't go for the end.
Oh, I don't know if they're actually going to continue to put pressure, knowing that Yi1's down for another 15 seconds. No flicker available for Valen, so they can't quite force it, but they will get the base turret on the bot. CG sees the win in their sights. Can they actually end it, though? Trying to clear out the minions. DFYG holding on. They might re-engage, or they just take the safe route and let things reset.
I like that CG actually took it slow there because, again, you could easily throw there, and at 19 minutes, that's an instant win for DianFengYaoGuai. They could just all mid, especially if Lung does not die.
Exactly. Again, the scaling for DianFengYaoGuai is getting really, really good. We do have a pause, so we actually have a little bit more to dissect here. I would actually say, again, an advantage is an advantage, right? They were able to get the gold lead back. They were able to get some good turrets. The fact that they didn't get the turret they needed for the next Lord, because if you look at the map, Lord's going to be spawning in the bottom side. So more advantage, more value you would get from getting the top side base turret. Now it's actually still DianFengYaoGuai who hold the advantage, not just the scaling, but the waves. Earlier, it was very, very botched for DianFengYaoGuai. They didn't really want to send anyone down below to manage that wave, and the wave kept on crashing in. That's why CG just got the advantage, and they just pushed through. But now, it's going to be completely different. They have a slow push up top. That means the Lancelot, out of all the people, I think it should just be the Lancelot, will be sent up top to constant clear, and that gives a big window for the Eastern Shin to burst out Lord.
Not only that, but you saw from that last fight when they delayed it, and one of the stories, the main points for DFYG throughout this game is Zed on the Ganakacha.
Yeah.
Well, you saw what happened there. If he is also off on the timing with his AOG, he popped the Revitalize, he get focused in, he's not able to actually catch anyone, you lose such a big component of what's been working for their lineup, you know? And even Long got blasted, man. And, you know, unfortunately for him, by the way, he had the winner's crown, right? I mean, he had it, but still, he was just gone so quickly. And I feel like, again, it's this, the team fights this whole game have kind of been a little just all over the place, you know? And it's really like whoever comes through with the less errors is going to win that one.
That's why I feel like for Zed, he should play it differently. Like, he's been constantly going in, and it has worked, but he needs to know that in positions where you're not chasing, in positions where you're actually trying to just hold your ground around Lord, you should be peeling for your Claude, for your Farsa, and for your Yisun Shin, right? It's all about the three backliners here. I think Vel's gone to a point where he can actually, he's a big boy. He can handle himself. He doesn't need Gatakacha to constantly babysitting him.
Vel is a strong, independent woman, by the way.
In this game,
In this game. Yeah, I really feel like for CG, even though Lung is the biggest threat right now, they have their eyes on Zed. Because you can see, once you see Zed using that Unbreakable, either to try and catch or run away, that's the one where CG gets a little bit more aggressive. Because they understand, they only lose if they get caught by that Unbreakable, if they get taunted. Other than that, they should be able to maneuver around and deal enough damage to, I would say, the main damage dealers of DianFengYaoGuai. So yeah, Zed really has to be careful with his timing. The longer the game goes, the more important timing becomes.
Peel for your backline, Zed. Yi1, Lung, and Superkin are all very vulnerable. If the Lancelot gets back, there's no one to stop him, so at least you need to be using the Revitalize to heal them back up, especially considering Gary, by the time he gets to the backline, he would already have punctured Vel maybe twice, and then Zed once. So that means like stacked up on the War Axe, stacked up on the puncture as well. And that's why you saw Lung also. He couldn't react to it because he didn't expect that much damage. That's something with the Lancelot, right? The longer the fight goes and the more he's able to build up before he gets to you. Once he gets to you, you're popped.
Yeah, and I feel like something that CG has to be careful of is all this Winter Crown. Because worried that they might use everything. And then they just have nothing.
Yeah, and that's why the positioning around this next Lord is so important. You know, and for a while, you got to remember that Lord earlier on, taking down that base turret up top, now plays a part into this next Lord take for CG Esports. But I think, you know, it's almost more so for DFYG not to overextend in a way, not to get a little too overzealous, and at the same time, utilize the defensive options they have here. So that purple will be taken. Gary's got that under control. They're going to make this way to this Evolved Lord.
Knowing CG, they're probably thinking, how do they end the game with a backdoor?
Look at Balance, look at Balance. This could be it, this could be the winning play.
He might go right
Look,
wherever Yi1 sets up, Oh, Valens is going to go for it. He gets the GQ. No, and the kickoff, too. Lunga is gone. Flicker not used or anything else. But the fight's still going to be breaking out as E1 picks up a kill with a feathered airstrike. But Super Ken is out of the picture as well. And CG Esports will go to the mid lane. They use the flicker out. Yi1, no feathered airstrike with Vel. They're going to wait for this minions to push in, and CG Esports, they'll just go for it. Ye3 tanks up the damage, but Gary can end it here as they go for the sweep, sending DFYG out of M7.
Unfortunately, this does mean DianFengYaoGuai is the first team to get eliminated. And for CG, even though they won here, it's not over.